time I ever got flued out, I didn't really know what getting flued out was. So I fly to this guy's city, he picks me up from the airport, and we're like locked in. I'm sending my friends Snapchats. I'm like, oh my gosh, like this is so great. This is so lovely. Again, I'm naive as fuck. We go back to his place and he's like, oh, what do you want to do? Like, should we go get dinner? And I'm like, yeah, we go get dinner. And like, it was nice. Like, he put in some effort. And after dinner, he's like, oh, like, do you want to go check anywhere out while we're here? Or do you want to go like back to my place? And I'm like, oh, I'm actually gonna go meet my friends. Like, I have some friends that live in the city, so I'm gonna go meet them. As I'm out with my friends, he texts me and he goes, you should just stay with your friends. Like, you could pack your stuff up. You could come back here, pack your stuff up, and stay with your friend. And I was like, oh, absolutely not. You invited me to this city, so I'm staying with you. And so as I was out with my friends, I booked a flight back to where I was, because what the fuck do you mean? Because I'm out with my friends, I can just stay. No. 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 I did fly back the next day, though, because I was like, what the fuck? This man is
Yeah, it's a lot of red flags in this. This is not even a long conversation that we got to have, but it's certainly a lot of red flags here. First red flag is for me personally, and I know that it's a lot of guys that's probably going to disagree with this, but that's okay. That's why we have conversations. I'm not saying this so that you can agree with me. I'm telling you because I really believe it. I think that the first problem is that y'all flying chicks out for box. Real talk. And I'm not a boxelitis shamer. I do not believe in preventing people from doing whatever it is that they want to do. But the problem with this situation and the problem with these conversations is that, um, you know, I just think that the game has changed. And if you flying people out in order to do business, if you flying people out in order to have a, you know what I'm saying, like go and get some money together, that's a completely different conversation. But for me, I believe that it's too much box that's available in local areas and hunting for chicks on the internet or interacting with chicks that you've never met before. You don't know them. You know what I'm saying? You can't. I had this conversation on After Hours last night on the platform, and I was telling people on YouTube that one of the benefits that we had back in the day was you first met the person and you could actually be able to vet them more effectively because you were able to see who they are, how they interact, and you're able to get past a lot of these barriers to entries. A lot of y'all are basically getting catfished. Catfish from a personality perspective, catfish when it comes to the person, what they look like, catfish as far as what their real intentions are when they're dealing with you. And so the guy was probably already down whatever the cost of the flight is and all of that before she even got there. And then the second red flag is that she was telling her friends and talking on Snapchat. I tell people all the time, guys in particular, don't talk to chicks that tell all of their business on the internet because you're gonna find yourself in a situation where they're doing a story time about you. But let me go back to the first thing, and then we're gonna revisit the whole conversation of all of the red flags that we spotted in this whole situation. You're already able to vet a person and you already have to, if you kicking it with them in real life and you meet them in person. I think that the Instagram is a dating app, let's be clear. It ain't really no money on there unless you're getting sponsorships and stuff. So for most people it's just an interaction. It's a true dating app. It's more effective than any other dating app, especially if you got motion as a guy or a woman. But the other part of that conversation is you don't know these women, you don't know these hoes. And especially when we seen when they trying to give trafficking charges on people that's now flying people back and forth across state lines, when in reality all you really doing is widening your net and your pool of the type of people that you talk to. I think that is very, very wasteful. That's the words that I'm looking for. Wasteful to spend money on women that you don't know, that you don't really understand, that you don't know what their true intentions are. And then you find yourself in a situation like this chick who could probably take some pictures and look really, really good and decent and incredible and all of that stuff on the internet, but you don't really know what you're dealing with as far as DMing back and forth and just talking to them or FaceTime to them for a little bit. This chick is on Snapchat, which again leads me to the whole situation. Another thing is guys need to understand that you do not, under any circumstances, talk to a chick that is talking about Snapchat and telling all their friends and documenting their journey and taking pictures of the food and all of that stuff. She liable to take pictures of you and then try to hold that over your head or use that against you in a future conversation or a future situationship. Which leads me to the next part of the conversation is that the next thing is, and this is where the guy obviously started to wise up, is the fact that she started to talking about I'm about to go and see my friends. on my dime. Look, you can do what you want to do. I don't believe that anybody should hold anybody against their will. And so the minute that he realized that this was going to be a huge loss, because I don't know what we talking about, but if you go up to a man's hotel room, if you go and take a flight to go and see him on some let's kick it and not like on some business type stuff or whatever. If you're doing all of that and it's not resulting in business or whatever, like real talk, you fly and check in, all of that type of stuff. Women, ladies, let me be honest with you guys. Let me really, really bring you up to speed on what's going on. If a guy flies you in, the expectation is for him to get some box. Again, unbusiness related, just straight up, hey, I want you to come in and come and kick it. I know that y'all think that all men just want to just spend some time around your energy and your aura. And for whatever reason, he can sense your energy and your aura through the internet or through social media. If you are flying in, the expectation is for you to bust it down for a real one. Real talk. And for all of your time and all of your undivided attention, he probably gonna feed you. I'm pretty sure. If he flew you in, absolutely, probably. He's probably gonna make sure that accommodations, whether you stand with him or whatever. Yes, but the expectation is box at the end of the conversation. That is the only reason, outside of running up a bag, the only reason why somebody or a man is expecting for you to spend the weekend and y'all ain't doing nothing else when it comes to creating or doing something or whatever. I got to qualify that because I want to make sure y'all understand that there's a difference between making a business decision and taking care of business and just flying a chick in for box. All right. The other part of this, and a lot of women, guys, you're gonna have to be able to tell them no. Don't try to make the best of the situation. Don't try to accommodate. Don't try to make lemonade out of lemons and all of that stuff. When you sense that there's a lemon, and this is not just for flying chicks in, this is just all across the board. When you sense that you're dealing with a lemon, you throw it away. You cut it off. Hey, listen, all right, why don't you stay with your friends? And he played it the exact same way that he was supposed to. Once he realized that he had been finessed, cut it off. Yo, I'm done. I don't want to be bothered anymore. You stay with your friends, or you can book yourself a flight, which leads me to another point. One-way flights, and then book the other flight back. Don't let her finesse you. Don't let her spend a weekend. Don't do all of that. Listen, you're going to have to protect yourself. Cover yourself. Stop getting finessed. It's so many guys that are getting finessed, and nobody is going to care about you. Nobody going to give you your money back, none of that type of stuff. Which leads me to my last point in this whole conversation, because we all know that she's ignorant. This is a dumb situation. And for her to fly out there and then go and kick it with her friends, even women know that that was a dumb move. But it leads me to my last situation, or my last point. Only rock out or only deal with people that got just as much to lose as you, which then kind of negates the whole idea of flying chicks out in the first place a lot of times. Because if a woman is not on your level, if a woman don't have just as much to lose, as a result of dealing with you, and you can take that however you want to take it, and we can slice it in a new video if y'all want to do that too and have that conversation. You are severely putting yourself at risk. Huge risk, major risk. I just did a video on Ben McLemore, a former NBA player, Portland Trailblazer, just went to jail, was accused, dealing with a 21-year-old snow bunny, of, busting it down for a real one, when in reality, based off of the testimony and everything that was said in court, looks like there was both consenting adults and they did what they were supposed to do. Nobody was forced to do nothing. He's now doing 8 years. Best case scenario, she do a story time on you. Worst case scenario, you're doing 8 years in prison. Let me know what y'all think inside of the chat. I always like to give credit to the content creator, so that'll be linked back in the description. T. Chandley, 40% off your first order, 20% off for life. I love you. I appreciate you. Be careful, y'all.